Hi, Gaye DeRusso with the Majestic Rider. So now I'm going to talk a little bit about what some people do when they don't know so much about horses versus what trainers do. So when you see trainers working with these gaited horses, most of the time you will see they're in a bit. Why are they in a bit? Because the bit gives the communication to the horse much faster than if we're working off of a nose band, like a side pull, a hackamore, and those things. Yes, you can ride the horses in those things, and yes, if they're young, it's better to ride them in those things and then convert them to the bit. But once we can, we want to use the bit, like a snaffle, a loose ring snaffle is quite good, to teach the horse because it's quicker. Then once they understand the bit, then we can change the bit to other bits if we need to, like a shank for the trail, you know, because usually the owners are not real strong, and so they might need a little bit of power for them. But what we see a lot is somebody who doesn't want to touch the horse's mouth, so they don't want to put a bit in there, or the horse needs a stronger bit because they're weak, but they don't want to do it because they're afraid they're going to hurt the horse, so they put in a bit that doesn't give them enough strength to control the horse, and then the horse ends up getting bad habits and dragging them all around. The other thing people do is they ride in halters, they ride in side pulls, they ride in hackamores, and all those things are fine if your horse understands them, and your horse was good with the bit, and you're a good rider and have taught it well. The mistake is doing those things and you don't know how to ride well, and you don't know what you're doing, because then you have less and less control. So when you see the trainers, again, you'll see them with a bit, you'll see them teach the horse well, and then, like say I have a client, she wants to ride in a bitless bridle. Once the horse understands everything, yes, I'll switch it to a bitless bridle. If that's the only option we have because it has a mouth problem, yes, I will ride them in that, and it's perfectly fine, but it takes longer to teach them because of the pressure difference. It works, it just takes longer, and as a trainer, you're trying to train that horse pretty quick because you know you have so long, like a month or two, or maybe 3 at the most if I'm lucky, and so I'm trying to help the horse, and if I'm teaching it in a halter and a lead rope when I'm riding it, that's going to be much harder than a bit that's communicating. So know that if you're not a good rider, it's better if you have a bit in the horse's mouth. It can be a snaffle. Learn how to use your hands correctly. Learn how to ride with contact. Learn all the maneuvers that help to keep you safe that I say over and over again. Learn how to do that one range stop for emergencies. And then, once you ride well, you balance well, you have good control of the horse, it's not spooking, running away with you, doing crazy stuff, then you can switch it into whatever you want. Okay? Because, yes, in the end, the bits help us, but it's the trust factor and the horse understanding what we're trying to communicate that helps control them for us. But you never want to forget that the horse is prey, and they will follow their instinct if they're ever really, really scared. If you have a bit in their mouth or something that gives you more control, even the bitless gives you more control than like a halter, you know, with the rope around it, that because it kind of hugs the horse's head. So the bitless bridle, some of them work really well. If you're using a side pull, it's just working on the nose. It's not pulling on the whole head. So it might work well until it doesn't. So if you're having problems, you might want to go back to a regular bit and bridle, get the control, get the education, and then once you do, then you can try to go back to those other things. But again, I'm mostly about safety. It's not that I'm against any of those things. It's just I see people hurt over and over. So try to ride well, get your communication skills down, and then you can switch to those other kinds of things, you know, other bridles and bitless to ride your horse with.